Okay, we're here today with Frank Pauer, the CSO of Repeatit. Frank, tell us a bit about Repeatit.
Repeatit is a manufacturer of 5 GHz, 3 GHz, 6 GHz, and some other frequencies for point-to-point and point-to-multipoint outdoor wireless solutions. And we actually have been 13 years ago launching the first 50 megabit multipoint solution when a lot of other vendors were still talking about 25 megabit. So Repeatit was a bit of an early starter in this outdoor wireless environment. And since then, we have been based with our headquarters in Stockholm. We have our engineering, our development, and our manufacturing out of Stockholm. So it's I would say, a real European company in the sense of manufacturing and engineering.
Okay, so the 5 gigahertz market sector is pretty crowded. There's quite a few vendors in there. Where do you think Repeatit sit amongst them all?
That's a very good question. Basically, our view of the market is that especially 5 gigahertz is becoming a commodity. So there's not many features you can have or add as a vendor to differentiate big times from other vendors. Right? And at the moment, the market splits into two main sectors. One is the ultra-low tier, we call it, where you have some basic features, you have a hardware quality which is more consumer style, but which is a very good solution for certain applications in this. We call it the low-end applications. And then you've got this high-tier market, which used to be big in the past, where you have very advanced hardware, you've got advanced antennas, you've got advanced features like quality of service and others, but nowadays sold mainly at prohibitive pricing. So what we find is that a lot of these 5 gig solutions from high tier are being sold at a higher cost than a professional microwave link. Okay. And that we believe is a bit wrong, because 5 gig is not like microwave. It is somewhere between microwave and a lower end solution. And this is where Repeatit positions, because we are basically using the same components like high tier vendors are using, but we've managed to push the price down to fit nicely between the ultra low tier and the high tier vendors. And what it does is that many customers that have been using low end equipment in the past but suddenly need higher applications, they start to buy Repeatit because the price is not 10 times, 15 times than a low-tier solution. It's maybe only 2 or 3 times more, which makes it much better to use from a business case point of view for these customers. And this is where we sit basically nicely in the middle.
Okay, so you mentioned Repeatit are based at Stockholm. What sort of presence do you have globally?
Yeah, when I said manufacturing, engineering, that is Stockholm. Yeah. But what we have is we started to create in the last 2 years a global presence. Before, we were very much focused on the European market. So, for example, the UK is one of our most important markets globally still, because we had focused on Europe for more than 11 years. 2 years ago, we started to extend globally, and nowadays we have sales offices, for example, in Asia Pacific, in Africa. We have a presence now in North America starting from next month. We have a presence in Central Europe, Western Europe, France, Spain. So we started to really spread the company globally, because the market and the requirements we find are globally the same.
Yeah, I mean, people say that the 5 gig market is slowing down. It's certainly not something that we see. So tell us a bit about your current product range.
So we have a quite extensive product range, and when I mean extensive, I mean that for every application that is today used with 5 gigahertz equipment, we have a product and a solution to fit. For example, if you talk about CCTV wireless video solutions, we have a very small form factor, need 240 megabit solution that is specially designed for the CCTV market. If you talk offshore, we have special solutions for that. If you talk about being a wireless ISP, then we have a very comprehensive multi-point wireless solution for rural broadband coverage. So I would say it's pretty comprehensive, and if you search for a solution, you will definitely find it in the Repeatit portfolio.
What about network management?
Network management is one of the areas our engineering is especially focusing on. So we have 2 different platforms for our customers. One is a cloud-based server platform, where we have a server in Stockholm that is allowing our customers to simply add their links on their account on our servers, which we can't access if they don't allow us to, and basically have the advantage to not have to set up their own server infrastructure for it. That's one solution. The second one, for people that don't want to use cloud, or they're not allowed to use cloud due to company policies, For these customers, we've got a server-based management software. It's called the RCS, which can be downloaded from our website and is basically a very comprehensive network managing tool. And by the way, not only for Repeatit equipment, but also for other vendors' equipment.
Okay, so it's an SNMP based tool?
It's not really SNMP, so you cannot do a full management of, for example, a microwave, but it will tell you if the microwave is on or off, which for most customers is enough to do an alarm management for it.
And is it right that both those systems are free?
Yes, both of them are free. In the past, we charged for it, but we decided to make it free of charge because we realized that these two software platforms are one of the key reasons for people also to use our hardware. And this is why it's free of charge, and it will be kept on, developed, and further extended in the future.
Very impressive. So what's on the roadmap for Repeatit for the coming months?
On the short-term roadmap, we have a very exciting new software feature. And as you know, Repeatit is using software-defined radios. That means every roadmap a functionality or feature we have is software downloadable for our customers. And our company policy is to do these software downloads free of charge. So whatever feature we add, it will be free of charge. Like when we increase the bandwidth from 190 to 245 megabit, all our install base was able to do it.
So the customers don't need to be part of a software upgrade program that's chargeable, it's all free?
No, it's free of charge. And the next software release coming in December is actually a software release we've been working on since 2 years, which is a super exciting software release because it's not just adding some bandwidth or some SNMP functionalities or features. It is turning our point-to-point portfolio into a multi-point capable portfolio. What it means is, if as a customer you buy a point-to-point link, when you receive it, you can decide if this point-to-point link will stay a point-to-point link, or if you turn one end into a base station and the other end into a client, and then you can add up to 16 clients on top of that, and use it especially for high bandwidth applications like CCTV, campus connectivity, or B2B leased line replacement. And the unique functionality about it is that it's not a dynamic bandwidth assignment, which means that any subscriber asks for traffic, he gets how much traffic he needs, and then the others don't. But you can actually assign dedicated bandwidth to each client by time slot assignment.
So it's a fixed allocation, as you say, perfect for applications like CCTV.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned CCTV, rural broadband, campus connectivity, Wi-Fi backhaul and the like. Any new market sectors that Repeatit are going into over the coming months?
Yeah, there's actually two segments that we're entering as we're talking right now. One is the offshore market, especially for oil platforms and fish farms. And what we've done is we've taken our standard point-to-point links and made them offshore capable, which means salt water resistancy, which means that you can actually install it on a moving oil platform and still have a link established. So a few functionalities that are essential if you talk about offshore. And these products basically have been launched already, and we are now starting marketing campaigns where we present case studies, where we present actually also business cases for oil companies to swap from expensive low bandwidth satellite connectivity to wireless broadband in offshore environments.
So this is not just the IP rating, but the brackets are all different and different type of material?
It's different types of material, exactly. It's higher robustness regarding any environmental impact.
Excellent. So
the second segment we are entering is the microwave business. We are not planning to launch our own microwave solution, but what we found is that today around about 80% of every microwave link that's been sold worldwide has been sold without redundancy. And it made us wonder why, because microwave links can fail obviously under super harsh weather conditions, or you've got a power outage or lightning strike. And when we started to do surveys to ask customers why they are not using redundancy for microwave, the answers were that they didn't have it in the budget.
I mean, it's expensive. You need the extra equipment plus the extra license.
Plus the extra license, and especially the license most of the times is the expensive one. So what we've done is we will launch next week a redundancy solution for microwave, which is basically a 3 gigahertz, or depending which frequency you can use, a 5 gigahertz link with 2 Ethernet ports and we call it the Repeatit anti-loop and ring protection functionality. And what it allows you is to simply plug the second Ethernet port into the second port of the microwave and use the other port of our link as a management and power redundancy port. And what it does is that if the microwave link goes below a certain threshold, our Trinity redundancy link is taking over the traffic, ensuring that you always have the bandwidth you need on that link. On top of that, if the microwave link goes down because of a power outage, lightning strike, or another reason, our link can provide a very easy to set up hardware redundancy without the danger to have a loop created in the whole setup.
Excellent. So what about the UK market? Obviously we've seen very good growth in the UK this year. We've entered some new sectors such as CTV very strongly and won some big projects. How are we going to get more people to try Repeatit?
Well, first of all, the UK is the most important market for us globally, and I think that is also especially thanks to the cooperation with you during the last 8 years. But the feedback we got when we talked to customers that today are using other solutions and asked them why they're not using Repeatit, the answer in 80-90% of the cases was, we've never tried it. So our solution for it is to offer free try and buys for 30 days for any customer that wants to try Repeatit, and give them the chance to have the link in the office, to set it up in the bench, to test that whatever we promise is actually reality, and keep the link after 30 days and pay the bill, or simply ship it back to us if they are not happy for any reason.
So I guess that one of the issues with Repeatit, I guess, maybe is that you don't spend millions of pounds on marketing. Instead, you invest your money in the equipment. So this is a good opportunity for people to see for themselves exactly how good that equipment are, or how good that equipment is with no risk.
Totally right. And in most of the cases so far, because we've done this in 2 other markets already, and the experience is that once a customer has our link installed, they don't send it back. So this is our kind of marketing. We rather show people that what we can do instead of spend millions on talking about it.
Yeah. Good. So we'll be launching that within the next couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah. Basically, I think in 2 weeks from now, people will be able to order the try and buys.
Fantastic. Frank,
thank you very much.
Thank you.